Okay, so when we were going through our procedure of calculating standard deviation by hand, mentioned something in line number 3: when you square the differences calculated in step 2 and then multiply by the frequency necessary. So I want to see a case where we would need to do that. So let's turn to page 170 in our workbook, and we're going to take a look at number 5. And in number 5, we have survey mobile phones. We've got the number of families, and this is the number of phones. So we have 4 families with 1 phone, 3 families with 2, 6 families with 3, and 2 families with 4. When you talk about the number of families, or the y-axis, that's going to be your frequency. These numbers down here, that's going to be your data. So to calculate my mean, I have 4 families that have 1 phone, so I'm going to do 4 times 1. And underneath, I'm going to be adding up the frequencies. Now, I'm not going to add the 1, 2, and 3, and 4 because that's the data. I want to add up the numbers. 4. And then we've got 3 families with 2 phones. So I'm going to add a 3 underneath here. I've got 6 families with 3 phones. So I'm going to add a 6 down here. And then I've got 2 families with 4 phones. So I'm going to add a 2 underneath here. And then we're just going to go ahead and add these up. So that's going to give us 4 plus, that's going to be 6 plus 18 plus 8 over 4 plus 3 plus 6 plus 2. And let me get a decimal for that, 2.4. So x bar here is 2.4. Now I have 4 data values of 1, because that's my frequency. So I do 1 minus 2.4, that's going to give me a negative 1.4. I'm going to go ahead and square that. Oh, and I did that wrong. That needs to be in parentheses. So that would be 1.96. And now I'm going to multiply that by 4, because I got 4 data values with that. So times 4, that gives me 7.84. Now we're going to do the same thing here. We've got 2. Again, I'm not going with my frequency. I'm going back to my data value. 2 minus 2.4. That's a negative 0.4. We're going to square that. That'll give us 0.16. And you can check it out real quickly. And then we're going to times that by 3. So that's 0.48. And then my data value, 3 minus 2.4 is 0.6. Square would be 0.36. And then I'm going to multiply by my frequency. So that would be 2.16. And then find my last data value, 4 minus 2.4 is 1.6. Square it, it'd be 2.56. And I'm going to multiply that by 2, so that gives me 5.12. So what I'm just doing here is, after I'm calculating x minus x bar squared, I'm just timesing it by the frequency. So my n here then at the bottom here is going to be the sum of my frequency. And that should be 15 because we got that up there earlier. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 2 is 15. And then over here, we're just going to add those numbers up. 7.48 plus 0.48 plus 2.16 plus 5.12. And that adds up to 15.6. So I'm just using the frequencies to make that problem a lot quicker, a lot easier to calculate. Now, this is a sample. So I'm going to be dividing this by n minus 1. 15 minus 1 is 14. And so that will give us our variance. So that gives us 1.1142 blah 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 blah. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the square root of that number. So I'm going to do my second square root. I'm going to bring that whole number in there, enter. And so that'd be 1.0556. So again, I'm going to round it off to 4 places. Now, let's see how we would enter that data in our calculator. So my data values are 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this time I am going to have to enter the frequency. So let me go into my data. I want to clear out my old data. So I'm going to hit my data key again, 4, clear everything out. I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Second column, I'm going to put the frequency, 4, 3, 6, and 2. And then I'm going to go to my second stat. We're still doing one variable stats. Data is L1, but I now need to change the second line. The frequency is in L2. And then calculate. So notice there's X bar, 2.4. That's what we had up here. And then our frequency matches what we have down here.